So hi and welcome to my videos. This time I'm doing the Object 140 and I'm going to do an 8.8 overview, and the first thing what you may see is that I'm not playing on my normal account. This is a friend's account of me because for some reason my original account got suspended on the test server, and on the normal server it works, so I have no idea what's the problem with it. So playing on my friend's account. But this is the 8.8 update. There are a couple of new tanks added, like for instance a whole new medium line. Well, not a whole new medium line because it, as you can see, the object 416 leads to the T54, and from the T54 you can unlock T62A or the object 140. No, this is temporary. This will be changed, there will be added a tier 9. So if you are playing your T54, don't buy your T54 again to get the object 140, because you will not get the experience in time. You need 200,000 experience to unlock the object 140, plus there was a new gun and you need this one also. So you need around 260,000 credits, unless you are very good or you play like almost day and night. You will not reach the object 140. So if you already have a T54, don't go out, just wait till the next update before you buy the object 140, unless you have lots of free experience. But as you can see, there is a A43, a A44 and an object 416, and with the Germans there's a new edit, I hope I pronounce it right, Durchbruchswagen 2. And there was also a new medium tier 6, here you go, the VK 3002M, what is basically just the same as the other VKs. There are not much difference between. And there are a couple of tanks that are bumped up a tier. Like for instance, let's take a look. Yeah, the VK 3001 is transferred to tier 5. Lots of people were complaining that the tier 6 was not powerful enough, so they made it to a tier 5. And don't know if they have anything changed. Well, you can still have the dope gun though, and you can have the 7.5. Yes, you can have the 7.5mm gun, so that's not really much changed about. But you can't mount the 88 anymore on this tank, unfortunately. There was another. There we go. The VK 3601 is transferred to a heavy tank, not a medium tank anymore. Wargaming saying like since the beginning of the game that they're going to bump the VK 3601 to a heavy tank. Well, they finally did it. So that are pretty much the changes about this update. Unless you're a super tester, you also get new Soviet tanks and a Japanese medium tank, and you can try out the new heavy tank, the new Chinese heavy tank. But I'm not a super tester, so I'm sorry that you're not going to see it. But let's start with the first tank. We have the A43. What is special about this tank? Actually nothing at all. This is just an upgraded version of the T-34. It looks around the same as the T-34. The armor is a little bit better, is 50mm better. Third armor is paper, like every gun can penetrate it. I mean, I can with normal AP shells I can penetrate another A43 with easily. What it does have is a very good engine. It has a 600 horsepower engine on a tier 6. That's a very good engine. It is very fast. It's much better than the T-34. Speed limit of 55 you will reach easily. This tank is fast, very fast. But the downside of this tank is the gun. The gun, you have two different kinds of gun, or the 57 or the 76, both tier 5 on a tier 6 medium. Penetration is only 125. This penetration reminds me back of the Type 58, and I hated the Type 58. The Type 58 was such a horrible tank to drive. I hated it. And a 115 average damage is good for tier 5, but for tier 6 you can have at least 150. I mean, the Type 58 even had a better gun, and I hated that gun. The 57mm has less penetration, less damage, but it has a higher DPM. So it depends on you. Do you want a gun what has a bigger punch or a bigger DPM? It's your choice. The turret though, as you can see, it has no armor, 75. With the stock gun you even have the same armor as a T-34. What it does have is very good traverse speed. It has 48 traverse speed on the turret and 44 traverse speed on the tracks. So for damage, this is not a good tank, but if you're looking for maneuverability, this is a great tank. It's so fast and it can turn easily. It can pass this carousel technique very easily on this tank. Then we have the radio, of course, it's tier 8 radio. So let's hop into the next tier. Next we have the A44. Now what is good about this tank? Well, first of all, armor. 150 millimeters of frontal armor on a tier 7. That's a lot. I mean, the T29 for instance is a very armored tank. And this tank has actually better hull armor than the T29. What it does have is lots of weak spots. I mean, look at that here. Probably this big part here, what is sticking out, is probably the weak spot of this tank, and this of course. So the only place where your armor is a little bit reliable is here, on this chunk of armor, but that's it. For the rest, it's full of weak spot. I mean, the turret is just the same as the A43. The armor is the same. The turret reverse is actually worse. That's weird. Oh, 38. Okay. So the armor is actually it's not good at all. So if you want to shoot on an A44, aim for the turret. Same like the MX50B for instance. Aim for the turret. I mean, look at this. Weak spot. Weak spot. Weak spot. Maybe you're going to have a little lucky bones on your gun mantle, but I think it's not going to happen. Now the gun, you finally have a tier 7 gun for your own tier. So if you end up one tier higher, you're going to have a bad time. So we have the 107 and the other guns of the A43. But the 107mm gun has a slow rate of fire, what's actually a downfall for a medium tank, because you need fast reload in a medium tank. What it does have is very good penetration. 167mm penetration is quite good though. I have a T-34-1, the Chinese medium tank, yes, Chinese tier 7 medium tank. It has a penetration of 170 and I'm okay with it. There's a 290 penetration with gold shells, what's actually quite low though, but it got nerfed, I heard. The APCR and the heat shells. The heat shell, the HE is only 54, but it's not like you're going to penetrate with HE on this tier. What it does have is a good average good average damage. I mean, it has 300 damage per shot. That's high. For a medium tank, that's a really high amount of damage. Accuracy is horrible, like every other Russian tank, and the aiming time is very slow also. So this tank gives a big punch, and it has very good penetration, but it reloads so slow. It's like a gun what you mount on a tank, heavy tank, not on a medium tank. Armor is quite good, except the turret of course. It is still fast, but it's slower than the A43. Even the speed limit is 59. I mean, you have a 600 horsepower engine, it's 41 ton. Here you also have a 600 horsepower on a 30 ton tank. What it does have is a higher speed limit, but it takes you longer than an A43 to reach that speed. Traverse speed though is 44. That's a very good. It's worse, but it's still good. So that's it actually on this tank. It goes faster, but it's slower to go there. So next we have my favorite tank, and I'm going to do a little break. So of all the new added tanks, this is still my favorite tank. Why? Because the gun. Whoa. This is a great gun. It has a quite low penetration though. 200mm is it's an average penetration, but the rate of fire, 7.5 rounds per minute, is very good. Accuracy 0.37 for a Russian medium tank is good, but the aiming time, look at the aiming time. This is what I want to see on a medium tank. High aiming time, not 4 seconds like on the A44. No, I want a 2.3 aiming time per seconds, and you can bump that up with your crew skills, borders and arms, and equipment. The average damage is a little bit higher, what's kinda downfall, but you will keep that average damage though. You will not lose it until you have to reach the tier 10. So 7.5 runs per minute, that's really good. Armor is paper. 75 millimeters of frontal armor in tier 8, it's not a lot at all. Turret is 110 millimeters of armor, very sloped. So keep in mind that this is very sloped armor. So only tanks of your own tier will penetrate you in the turret. I mean, look at the turret. It's just so rounded. It's so nice. But what it does have is very good maneuverability. This is what I want to see on a medium tank. Fast aiming time and very good maneuverability. You just want to do a hit or run. It has a 400 horsepower engine. That sounds low to you, but it only weighs 27 tons. So you don't need a very strong engine. Plus you don't even have to unlock an other engine, because it's the Object 416 only. You get this engine stock, so you immediately are very fast. It has very good reverse speed, one of the best reverse speed actually of the game. 52 degrees per second is a very good reverse speed. Speed limit is 50. That's kind of downfall, that you can't go any further than 50, but what you do have, that you reach that speed very easily. It's like 5 seconds and you're on 50 kilometers an hour. Hit points are very low though, 1200, it's not a lot at all. Shell damage, well, I already covered that, but there's one special thing about this tank. It's very low, it's very difficult to hit also, but this turret doesn't go 316 degrees, this turret only goes 170 degrees, so that means if you're rolling towards a tank, that you only get stick your turret from here to here. It's kinda the same as the Ant-Relay, only a better version of it. You just can't turn your turret around, but it's not like the FV of the Ant-Relay. You can still turn 170 degrees. I mean, it's still enough. Plus with the reverse speed and your turret reverse, it's not like light things are going to circle around you. That's not a problem at all. What it does have is like peeking around corners is still a very it's a very difficult task though. And so I covered all of this tank. Oops. So then we have the tier 10, the new added Object 140. No, this tank is almost a copy of the T62A. I have the T62A in my normal gouache, and there is almost no difference at all. It plays the same as the T62A. What I do notice that it has a little bit less traverse speed than the T62A. I don't know if it's me, but or the game that I see 56. Well, you still have to know that I do not have any crew skills on my tanks, so I do notice the difference between crew skills and no crew skills on this tank. But there is almost no difference at all. I mean, look at turret armor, 240, 240. Let's get up the stats of these two tanks. So what are the difference between these? You have 50 more hit points on the T62A. That's a good thing. The T62A is a little bit heavier. Engine power is the same. Speed limit is actually better. Traverse speed and maneuverability is better on the Object 140. On the T62A I mean. So this goes faster, but this has better maneuverability. Hull armor is the same. Well, it has 2 mm of extra armor. It's not going to make any difference. 240 mm turret armor is basically the same. The only difference is that you have a little bit more armor on the sides of the turrets. Shell damage, the gun is exact the same. There's no difference at all. Traverse speed, see that this is what I mean. The T62A has a better maneuverability because it has a better turret traverse, and a better traverse speed. And it is heavier though, so you will... Well, what are the difference between these tanks? It has 100 mm of armor frontally, T62A has. So look at the sloping on this tank, but look at the sloping on the Object 140. This is a very good sloping. It's better than T62A though. So practically you have a little bit better armor than the T62A. So these two tanks are basically just the same. The only difference is that the Object 140 has more speed, but the T62A is a little bit more maneuverable. And the Object 140 is by a fraction more armored than the T62A. So let's hop into the equipment. What do you want to use on the equipment? Well, first of all, these three things, what I have right now on my tank is what you want to use. You want to have plus 20% accuracy during movement third rotation, because basically with the Russian tanks and the Chinese tanks you are constantly moving, you are not standing still, because you have to use your speed and maneuverability to your advantage. Maybe toolbox if you spot open. Plus 10% aiming speed is a must-have though, because if you're standing still, what you want to do is the hit and run tactic. So you're standing still, you want to aim very fast, take your shot, and be back on your tracks to fire your next move. But you don't want to stand still with medium tanks, because these things are just sitting ducks if they are standing still. And of course the medium tank gun rammer, so you have a minus 10% reload time, even though the reload is very good actually on this gun. It has a 9 seconds reload. That's, let's say, every 6.5 seconds, so it's a very good reload. Penetration is very high, 264, but like I said, you're going to keep that average damage though. It's not like you're going to have 500 per shot. But I'm already used to it by driving T62A. The T62A is one of my favorite tanks though, because it has such a good maneuverability, and the Object 140 does not have that much, but it plays the same. Accuracy though, for a Russian medium tank, this gun has very good accuracy, but the aiming time is very good. 2.1 seconds. Whoa. So cover this part, then you're going to the crew skills. What do you want to use on your crew skills? Well, you want to use, well, first let's start with a common. Repairs is a must-have. Camouflage is your choice. Brothers in arms, of course. Maybe you want to research this as a first or a second skill, because brothers in arms for medium tank, you want to have that, because you basically upgrade everything with a bit. Sixth sense, of course. Sixth sense, the first thing I always research, and maybe a recon, because sometimes I use this tank as a scout because it's so small and it is pretty fast and it's difficult to hit. Extended view range, extended signal range, maybe call for vengeance if you have a spot open, it's your choice. And going to do a little break. Okay, so what you want to use on the gunner is snapshot, of course. You need snapshot. Deadeye, because you do with every gold shell and an AP shell, you have a higher chance of doing critical hits. And if you have a higher chance of doing critical hits with a fast reloading gun, you almost will wreck that enemy tank. Armor, no, I think it's better to fix your gun though. And that's it. Maybe Eagle Eye, I don't know. What you want to use here is off-road driving, but the first thing you want to research though is clutch braking, because this is basically the reason why I noticed that the Object 140 was less maneuverable, because I have clutch braking researched on my T62A, so it has more reverse speed, and trust me, you do notice the clutch braking. Clutch braking is the first thing you want to have on this tank. Then as a second skill, you may want to have smooth ride though, because you improve your accuracy while firing on the move, and trust me, you're going to do it a lot with this tank. Off-road driving is maybe if you have a spot open. I mean, it starts raining after this training starts, so normally you're going to reach a third crew skill, but you're not going to make it 100%. So off-road driving, you can do it as your last skill. Then on your loader, you want to use Adrenaline Rush, safe storage, because the Russians are pretty known though for their horrible storages. And Institution, no, because the reload is already very good on this tank. Then what I want to show you guys before I'm going to before I'm going into a gameplay, is this the service record? World of Tanks is a little bit lagging on me since the test server. But here you can, this is what I mean, don't flame on me because of my horrible stats. These are not my stats, people. My stats are all different, they're a lot better. So like you can see, you have a very nice overview. Gear 6 destroyed. How many ace tankers you have on your amount of tanks. This is a very good thing though, because I think I've played around 120, 130 ace tanks. I think I got around 20 to 30 ace tankers. So this is a very good thing though. What I do like is that finally on your vehicles, look at this, this is a very nice overview. They actually showed your average experience, because I am not that kind of guy who goes after your win rate. If I recruit people for my clan, I go with their average experience, because everything is calculated in your average experience, your amount of hits, damage, win rate, everything. I know lots of people say like, well, your win rate is the same, like that the win rate is the amount of influence that you have on your team, but trust me, it's not, because this guy is worse than me, but he has a higher win rate than me though, and I have a higher average experience, so that the average experience, everything is calculated therein. So that's why I go after average experience, not after win rate. So that's a very nice overview. As you can see, the battles, victories, average experience finally, and mastery. So the only thing what they really added here is your average experience, but for the rest it's just the same. And this is quite good though. Awards, statistics. I prefer the old design though on the vehicles. Statistics, the amount of these stats you could only see on the internet, not on your normal not on the normal game. So battle survived 80%, victories 49 for him, 2000 battles, 58% hits, 409 average experience. So that's quite good though. Okay, so sorry, suddenly the game decided to crash on me. So let's get back to the stats. A very nice summary. You can see the top gun, snipers, basically the best awards that you got. Like the Bailey's medals, where you're close to. Here we have all of the rewards though. What you didn't have unlocked. Like for instance, there are some awards that I never have seen in the game, like this one before. Like for example. See, this is almost impossible to get. Because with the new matchmaking you only get up to 2 tiers higher. So survive the battle, destroy enemy vehicles. Well, these, I think there are a couple of new added awards though, because I've never seen these two, but what you have to do for it is very easy. So Group Award, Borders in Arms, and of course Crucial Contribution, and a commemorative tokens which you what is, huh? Destroy all enemy light tanks at least 3 in the course of 1 battle. That's not difficult at all though. I think there are new added awards though. So I'm going to end the garage here, and I will see you in the gameplay. Okay, so welcome back to the battle. This is the, well, I was going to say the T62A, but this is the object 140 in battle. And the first thing, this is a game where I got over 1200 experience in, but I was quite ashamed to upload this gameplay because I derped around with that E100 so hard that I was so ashamed to upload this gameplay to YouTube. Well, the normal things of this game are pretty average. I mean, 1200 experience on the test servers is quite good though, since everyone is shooting gold, and I'm trying to let you see how it feels with AP shells. So I have a handicap against other players, let's say it like that. Unfortunately I can't speed it up, Here because I'm watching this in my editing software and not in the replays of World of Tanks, because I never can open test server replays for some reason. But basically I'm waiting here because this tank is pretty fast, but it's also a good sniper. The gun, sometimes you're going to think like, whoa, what did I hit here? Like here, or like previous shot. What did I do wrong? I mean, I had a 90% chance to hit, and I missed him. Well, the gun is kind of 50-50. It's the same as the T62A if you ever played the tank. What I'm trying here to do is peek, but I'll soon realize that peeking is not a good idea. And there we have. Well, the good thing though is that there are lots of well, I'm not going to say noobs, but there are lots of people what are not experienced to drive a tier 10 on the test server. But it's full of Russians, and Russians are a lot better than North Americans and Europeans. So I spotted him, and he doesn't know where to shoot me. You're going to see it in a little second, so I'm requesting fire at him. So maybe artillery can hit him. The first shot he hit it, right in the turret. Probably he was loading gold shells, because otherwise he can't penetrate 240 mm sloped armor. See? He keeps shooting me in the turret. But meanwhile, my hull armor is very weak on this tank. So shooting at the hull on this, not at the turret. And he just kept firing at the hull. So got a very lucky shot of that WoT there. Luckily. Because he could have done lots of damage to me. So I decided that it was enough, that it took enough hits there. I mean, I did enough damage. And we have here we have that E100, but really pisses me off so hard. This E100 driver knew what he was doing. I mean, he was angling his armor, he was using his space armor against me. But our E100 driver didn't knew where to shoot, because the lower hull of the E100 is so squishy and it's so easy to penetrate. And that other E100, while always distracting him, he could have done damage so easily. He could have just had 3 shots. I mean, he could have fired now. So I had a problem there. See, the E100 fired and probably hit this frontal plate or something, and didn't do a penetrate and bounced off. But I had to move because there was a guy shooting at me, and this is what I mean. This is one of the whole. I'm quite surprised though that I got over 1000 experience in this battle. But I will see you in the next gameplay, where I will show you how to use it with your speed. So this gameplay is on a new map, what has been I think it's Siren Coast. But this map has been taken out because of the amount of campers on this map. Is just the amount of campers on this map was too damn high. I have had battles on this map where there was basically no one spotted for 15 minutes long, and it ended up in a draw. You only walk away with like 150 experience. But what it did is basically it's just the same, only there are a couple of rocks added in the middle. And what is new though is that from now you can go up the island in the middle with a bridge, and you can take a land bridge towards the main land. Therefore there was no land bridge. Now there is. And that land bridge is very good for flanking though, and luckily the enemy team did not know that. And we three, the T57 heavy there and the other T57 heavy and me, we're going to flank those guys. and we won by doing that. But the reason why I let you show this gameplay is not because the massive amount of experience what I earned in the battle, but more about the speed and maneuverability on this tank, because there was some driving in this tank though, and this is all swampy terrain. I mean, this is not swampy, but on the river it is, and you will see how it feels with how it drives on swampy terrain. I mean, the gameplay is what you now see is because I don't have much time. I'm basically making this review in only 3 hours. That's very short. Normally I do like 4 to 5 hours on test servers. But I do not have a lot of time because I have to work tomorrow, and today I was well, busy till now actually. So I only played like 10 to 11 battles in it, and to me it feels like the T62A, and I do know how to drive a T62A, so I do know how to drive an Object 140. Like, see it, it's so fluent, I love it to drive it. That FV 182 just moved up when I wanted to shoot, but I got this one. From this battle I got 890 experience. I do not have a photo. I think I recorded in the garage, but I do not have a photo of the previous gameplay, but I got 1200. I was very surprised though that I got so much experience for doing nothing. And it's not doubled. So that FV just shot, this was a derpy moment of me again, because I moved in front of his barrel. I shouldn't have done that, because he was basically unloading his clip on, and I was too greedy to get a shot for my own also. So I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm sorry for doing that. It was all my fault. So we basically have to eat that whole flank here, because they're easy kills now, and it's still accomplished to get no kills of it. Yeah.
One of our tracks is damaged. Enemy armor is damaged. We're immobilized.
So there we have a Badger, and I shot the Badger. But the Badger was focusing the Fudge. He should have focused me though, because I have lower HP than him, and he can get a fast kill before he's going down. Well, that's the end of the gameplay. I think I recorded a part of the garage also, so you can see how much experience I earned. Yes, 888. The amount of credits what I earned is basically a glitch what I have to report to Wargaming. So that's it, and I will see you in the garage to have some little bit more talking about it. Okay, so to end this episode, demo creation rules, and you can choose a tank for my garage. What do you want me to see review next? Place it in the comments below, and also try to check out my channel so you know what tanks I've already reviewed. Monday I'm going to do probably that new tier 4 German heavy tank. What I'm going to hate, because from stats, from seeing the stats, it only has 67 millimeters of penetration, and that's very low for tier 4, even for tier 4. But that's it. So what do I think about the tank? Well, it's just the same as an Object 1, just the same as T62A. T62A, like repeated through the whole episode. If you already have a T62A, it's not worth to buy the new Object 140, because it's just the same. Or wait till they have finally added in that new tier 9. What do I think of the update? I think it's very good. I mean, the service record, what has changed, I think that's very good though, what they have done to that, because it's a much better overview. than it used to be. You don't have to go on the internet to see your progression throughout the months. They were quite fast though, because the fact that they still do not have a tier 9 means that they want to release it faster than they can follow it. But that's it, and I'm following, and I'm going to